Richard Branson got Virgin Atlantic off the ground with zero and with zero risk. So here's what he did. You replace capital with creative thinking. So he calls 206-555-1212, which is directory assistance in Seattle, Washington. And he asks for the phone number for Boeing. Okay, so he calls the main Boeing switchboard.
Boeing sell the planes, right?
Yeah, Boeing makes the 747. So he calls the main switchboard of Boeing, giant, huge company, and says, I'd like to lease a jumbo. And they hang up on him. Okay? He calls about 30 times, and they keep hanging up. And finally, they get tired of his calls, and the lady says, let me put you in touch with somebody who's in charge of leasing, and they can tell you to get lost. Okay, so she transfers him to a person who's actually leasing jumbos. This person tells Richard, says, look, Mr. Branson, in every country, we have one customer. And in the UK, that is British Airways. So we have nothing to talk about. So he says, well, just humor me for a second. He said, if British Airways called you and said that they wanted to lease an old used jumbo, do you have one lying around? So the guy said, as a matter of fact, we do, but that's academic. He says, well, what would you lease it to British Airways for? Just since we're having a conversation. What ended up happening is Boeing leased him that jumbo. And the reason they leased him the jumbo is they had one just sitting around. So they didn't really have any risk because they said the moment the guy doesn't make any payments, we're going to pull the plane, right? So now when you have an airline, you sell all the seats 4 months in advance. The cash has already come in. You pay for the fuel 30 days after the plane lands, and you pay for the lease after the plane lands. You don't need any capital. Virgin Atlantic got off the ground with zero capital. Okay, now if you can start an airline which needs a jumbo with zero capital, you can start any business with zero capital. Okay, so basically, when you look at business after business after business, all of them, what they do is they start small, they're embryonic, they minimize risk, they get a few customers, and then after that, they just roll with the